welcome to another episode of Non-Fungible Guys. We are a Web3 podcast. We cover everything from NFTs, cryptocurrencies, wallet security, Web3 space, everything else in between. I am one of your hosts, NFG Ryan. As always, I got my buddy, my bro host,
Devon C. Codrington, what up? You trying to say it at the same time as me?
I was going to.
No, I messed that up.
But then it's like, do you go with the C or not with the C?
It's because last week I didn't, and I forgot, that part of my name. So, speaking of names and not knowing how to pronounce them and saying how would you pronounce our guest for this week, who's waiting in the wings?
Our awesome guest we got today is Beastives.
Nice.
Got it.
I nailed it. I'm done for the episode now.
Yeah, who's Beastives?
The founder of, what would you say you are the founder of? Veggiemates or Virtually Made or co-founder? How would you describe yourself?
Yeah, so I'm the CEO of Virtually Made, which is our company, and under our company we have Veggiemates. And today we announced our second IP, Goofs. Yeah. But I am one of the co-founders, so I did not find this project by myself. As me and a group of really, really close friends and even family. And some sick artist.
Yes, sick. I love the art. Where do you want to start, Devon? You want to just go right to the nitty gritty, or do what? Yeah, I guess. Who is Beastives?
Signature question. Throw
softball.
Yeah. Oh man, is this like an altruistic question about who I am as a person?
I love that you even asked that. Answer it how you want. Some people have been like, I'm this, and then later on they say I'm also a brother, a friend. I don't know. Say whatever you want.
Yeah. All right. I'll describe myself. So, who am I? I'm somebody who didn't have the best upbringing or role models in my life, and I was fortunate enough to find some good mentors. A lot of them in books, honestly. Nice. And my life definitely took a turn, and regardless of what anyone might think about me on the surface, I really had to build this person that I am today, and it's been pretty intentional. And the beauty of that is I kind of know how I got here, and it wasn't by accident. And for me, one of the biggest purposes of my life is to help other people succeed. I see other people in difficult situations. I see other people who need that mentor in their life, or they need that bit of advice. And I do believe that's my purpose in life. That's what I want to be thinking about when I'm on my deathbed. That's my legacy, is what are the lives I impacted? And so that's what I live for. I'm all about up-leveling other people, seeing others grow around me, and really sharing my experience with others so they don't need to go through the same difficulties as me. And my dream would be to be a motivational speaker, actually. So that's awesome. That's who I am.
That is
and
awesome.
I'm also the founder of an NFT company, Virtually Made. And we mentioned at the top, but our most popular IP right now is Veggiemates. So it's Veggiemates versus Junkies. But just today we announced our second IP. It's Goofs. It's a dog-based project. It's all about showing and it's all about expression. And there's a customization component to it. There's a music component to it. So we're really branching off. And I've been in Web3 ever since late 2016, early 2017.
Whoa.
So in this space, I'm an OG.
Definitely.
Nice.
Well, let's head right there then. How did you find yourself into Web3? Was it crypto? I guess NFTs were later on. So I guess crypto is what kind of brought you into the space.
So funny story. My mom actually was telling. So my mom's notorious for getting in a bunch of Ponzi schemes. And so my mom was telling me about Bitcoin when it was like $200, and I wasn't listening to her because I was like, okay, here we go again, Mom. And my sister had a friend who actually got into the Ethereum ICO, and she couldn't figure it out. It was really complicated at the time. But after the Ethereum ICO, she was dedicated. Like it took off. It went to like $8 or something, which was massive back then. And when Nero came out, she's like, I'm not missing this one. And so
Nice.
when my sister called me and she's like, you got to get in on this, Brian, I was like, all right, I'm in. And it was so hard to onboard back then. I live in
Oh, yeah.
Washington. You can't like buy crypto at this point in time. There's so many hoops. It took like a week to send because the network was so slow. And so she got me in pretty early, and I took some of my savings at that point, threw it into crypto, and then just became a complete degenerate and just started buying tokens left and right. The funnier the name, the more likely I was to
Yep.
buy it.
Yep.
Had my ups and downs. I don't know if you guys were there for the John McAfee era, but that was my first roller coaster I went through.
No, John. I know the name. I know
Like
who
he
he
died.
is, but
Wait, no,
wasn't
no,
he
I'm
like
thinking no.
hiding
Yeah, he
on an
did. No, he did.
island?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got documentaries. This guy
That's just wild, bro.
Yeah.
he's got the craziest story, but right at the end of the 2017 bull run, I think Bitcoin's like hovering 10 grand and Ethereum's maybe at like 50 to $100. This guy he started making a tweet about a coin every day. Second he wrote his tweet, that coin just like 100x instantly.
Wow.
And it was insane. Like I had coins where I put $100 in and it went to like 30-40 grand overnight almost. And it turned out that he was actually working for those companies or getting paid by them, so they were paid shills. So I think he was going to jail. I think that's why he was in jail, actually, like tax evasion and stuff like that. And then the rest is history.
The rest is offline talk. Yeah, just leave it.
Yeah.
It's a bit rough.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's so you were there watching his tweets, like being like, here we go.
Oh yeah, it's going crazy. And then
man.
I mined Ethereum as well. I got into DeFi during the Binance craze during SafeMoon. I actually bought SafeMoon on day one, so I was really early there. And then my brother-in-law, who's on our team, Paul Thomas, he bought a CryptoPunk very early on, and he sold it for 100 Ethereum one day. And when he told me that, I was like, yo, you did what? And it caught my ears, and I was like, I need to learn what the heck these things are about. There's something going on here. And I actually joined Clay Nation shortly after, and the rest is history. Ever since then, I just been NFT guy.
Yeah, you're real OG.
That's
mining
good.
Ethereum and everything. Man. Like, fuck.
Ethereum. We can go anywhere. What was Ethereum mining like? What was the setup like?
A lot of graphics cards.
Yeah,
a lot of.
So you were doing that whole like the whole basement of your house or whatever, AC unit running down the stairs. I went to a miner's house once, and
be careful how you say that.
So
Ethereum miner's house.
Sorry. Yeah. Good point. And like there was a AC. You can buy those portable units that are whatever big, and they just had a hose running down to the basement. Windows were open, and the house was toasty, man. And it was winter, and he was like, "We don't have the heat on." Because the base, it just runs up through the hole. It was crazy how hot it was in there. He's like, it's the winter.
So hot.
Like, we don't need the heat. Zero heating bill. But he's like, everything else is out through the roof.
Oh yeah, in the summer it's crazy. Like, I would turn on an appliance and my circuit would break. Like,
he said the hydro company came to like investigate what was going on.
Oh yeah, my power bill was insane. But what was really cool about it was just I was contributing to the network.
Nice.
And it is proof of work, which it really helped me understand the decentralized component, that like, wow, there's people like me who run this whole thing.
Yeah.
And I think it really set in just the power of decentralization. When I started mining, there's obviously some technical hurdles I had to get past as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was an awesome time. But I have retired the GPU since then because they were way too hot. Honestly,
I bet.
Yeah.
When you with all those when you're done? Are people taking them? Are you throwing them up on Facebook Marketplace or something? Like, do people want to use them still?
I could totally sell them, but they're pretty rough condition, so I kind of feel guilty selling
Yeah,
them.
right. Yeah, you feel bad because
I'm
they've been worked. They've like in the span of like 6 months, they've worked like 7 years of well, not
it,
you know what I mean. But
totally,
really,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
they're running at max capacity 24/7.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
there's all kinds of like heat sink issues and
Yeah.
the
It's not
certain
safe.
parts. Yeah, so I totally could sell them, and I would obviously be very honest about that, but
Yeah,
I got other priorities at this moment at
Yeah, you
least.
got enough keeping
nice.
you busy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Altruistic beast dives, everybody. There
There
we
you
go.
go.
There we go. Cool.
So Veggiemates, I guess you pivot from crypto to obviously CryptoPunks and that. So were you I guess farting around in the Ethereum NFTs for a bit, and then how did you I guess find Cardano?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a pretty interesting story. So I was also in AMC and GameStop,
Oh, you
Oh,
and I was one of those guys. I was
wow.
very early. I was on Discord, and I was there. Like I was a little bit early. I was before it was mainstream, and I had bought a bunch of options on GameStop and AMC, and I had like $2,000 in there and just started going to the moon. Like within 2 weeks, my $2,000 like ramped up to 70 grand. And
Wow.
I'm watching this stock just boot like this. We beat the system,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
and then they froze it,
Right.
and all of a sudden I couldn't buy, nobody could buy anymore, so they literally made it impossible to go up. They froze accounts, and then other people had priority to sell,
Yeah.
and by the time I was able to sell it again, I was down like 50 grand.
Mm.
And
Oh,
it dawned on me that day. I was like, this is the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they just control the system, and I guarantee their friends were able to sell their stock at the
Yeah.
high,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
not
definitely.
not not not
right,
little
right.
Of
beast
course.
dives
Of
here.
course.
And there was no fairness there. And when that happened, it really like made me understand, like, okay, decentralization and us all playing by the same rule book, like that's something that I believe in. So that was part of it. The other part was I was an Ethereum miner, and I saw what proof of work meant. Like I was like, there's no way this is efficient. Like, sure, I'm making money. This isn't good for the environment, right? I believe in there being a proof of work network in Bitcoin, but I also don't think it's the best network, right? Like I don't think
Yeah.
it's how everything should be. So I saw the consequences. I understood the speed of proof of work as well. Because like I understood like how many computations need to have. So proof of stake was definitely a big thing for me. I looked into Solana. It was the fastest at the
Mhm.
time, but it was very centralized. Same with BNB, Binance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't love the centralized components. I loved the decentralized components of Ethereum, and I was just trying to figure out what are my options here. Couple of them at the time were like Polkadot. Unfortunately, one of them was Luna. And then another one was Cardano. And I saw Charles Hoskinson's whiteboard. That's reason a lot of people came in
Yeah.
here. But Cardano was the one that spoke to me. And then when I got into the community, I was like, oh wow, these are not just degenerates; they're like intelligent degenerates.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and,
for sure.
and I was like, oh, these people speak my language, you know. And so I went all in on Cardano from that day on. So that's how I ended up here.
That's an awesome story. So we did an interview with, do you know the author Ben Mesrick?
I don't know.
So he's coming out. I just shared the Twitter. There's this movie coming out called Dumb Money.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote a whole book about the GameStop and AMC.
Uh,
So but he has an NFT project, so we had him on to interview. But he's releasing this movie. Made me think of it because you were
You're
so
part of
deep
that
into it. So
story.
you're part of that story in a sense, right?
Very much a part of that story. I was the guy I was telling everybody about it. You know, I was like,
Yeah.
I was on the
I,
front lines.
And he
he
was
Yeah.
on
does a
our
net.
he was on our podcast last year. It was a
Oh,
really cool guy.
nice.
Yeah, he's doing actually so he had three NFT projects that if you had one of each collection, he's doing a screenplay for another NFT movie, and any holder that had all three got airdropped a screenplay token and are going to get a piece of the pie when he sells that screenplay after he's
I
done
love
writing it,
that.
right? Like
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So he's actually we're from Toronto, so he's actually what's the word I'm looking for, Devon? Not introducing, but releasing the
Oh,
movie,
premiering this
premiering it
movie.
at
Mm.
TIFF, Toronto International
Oh,
Film
nice.
Festival. So I'm hoping we can get him on again. But it's kind of cool that you were like in it. I mean, you should be part of that story, right? You know what I mean?
I I'm one of the background cast
Yeah, there you go.
members. Yeah, yeah.
I
Some
saw
guy in a bar.
Netflix. Yeah, I saw the Netflix doc. I'm trying to think of the one guy that was the YouTube. What was the YouTuber's name that kept pumping the shit out of it?
Oh, Roaring Kitty.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
Purring
yeah,
Cat or something,
yeah, yeah,
but yeah,
yeah.
Roaring Kitty. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun story. Anyone should go. Anyone that doesn't know about that, definitely go check that stuff out. But so you get into Cardano, and then I guess Veggiemates. You did it. Was it minted in 2021?
Actually, late 2021 as October 2021, and we sold out.
Oh, so
Actually,
you dropped right around Clay then. OG Clays?
um, we were right after the Good Charlotte Clays.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
was it Aug? Did they drop the two Clays collection really close to each other?
I don't know exactly when they dropped the first one, but the second one was October. So like
Okay,
we were late October, early November is we sold out the day before Thanksgiving our time.
nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
so yeah,
I
it
gotta
was right after Paul on our team. He's our musician. He's the one who wrote our music video that we just put on our website. But
nice.
he's a member of Good Charlotte. And
Yes.
they dropped the collection and we were like 2 weeks after, so it was in pretty rapid succession.
That's awesome. I remember, so my origin story for getting into Veggiemates was I hadn't heard about you guys, but I think Freedom 35ers did. They tweeted about you, or
Hmm.
they talked about you on the podcast because I had just found them, and I went into the Discord and I was just talking and shooting the shit around the Discord trying to find out information, and I want to shout out DA Sales. I had been in your server for maybe 6 minutes. And he's like, let me DM you. And I was like, okay, what's going on? So I added him as a friend, sent me a Vegemate like right away. And I still
That's
hold that. I
awesome.
think that's the one that ultimately I've turned into. We'll get into the project, but I think it's my Vegemate franchise pass now. It's the
Nice.
level up one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah.
still hold that one that he gifted me. So shout out to DA Sales because yeah, he just well, I think it's a he. I'm
Yeah, yeah.
assuming, but just open arms. Hey, come to the family. Here, have a free Veggiemates. I was like, oh shit, this is awesome. And I'm not active in your Discord, but I'm there. I pay attention to the updates and do all this stuff. But yeah, that's my origin story. Um, and then right after
My
that,
origin story is Ryan being like, "Hey, have you heard of this?" And I was like, "Wait, what?" And then he's just like, "Go buy it." And I was like, "Okay."
Nice.
And
yeah, I
I
like the
I
concept
was
of the
about it.
whole veggies versus junkies, but I think junkies were a little later because when you initially did Veggiemates right off the get go, was the junkies part of it or part of the lore at that time?
It was, yeah, yeah, from the get-go. The once we came up with the junkies, that's when we solidified our idea. So like it
Awesome
started with
idea.
Veggie but once we came up with junkies, like, oh, that's such a good name. It's such a
Mm.
good concept. So
I guess okay. So for anyone that's not listening or that doesn't know about the project, I guess how would you? I guess
Take us through it. Yeah,
yeah.
from because they don't even at the point of being like we almost have to. It's funny because we know the project. We have to
I
almost have to
know.
talk about it from a point for someone listening that has no idea what the fuck we're talking about. So how do we describe the artwork? Maybe at a high level, like of Veggiemates and then Junkies and like the, all that.
yeah, yeah. So the story is it's the year 3023. There's no humans left on the planet, no animals. All that's left is vegetables and junk food. And the veggies, of course, they live underground because they're veggies. And they're being repressed by the junkies who rule the world, right? And the junkies are like all high tech. The veggies are kind of, more rural. And there's a group of veggies who are uprising, and they're called the Vigilantes. And their job is to take get rid of the Crumb Syndicate, who's on the junkie side. So it's this lore, like you're gonna find traces of like X-Men and various comics within our world, but just having that conflict between the two really creates like a really cool narrative. The artwork is very unique, and we really wanted to push the boundaries on what an NFT project is. So at the time, one of the things that we did that was very unique is we have different shapes and colors for our base layers. So a lot of projects will use like a consistent base layer,
Right.
and we have watermelons, onions, like peppers, like all these different shapes. And so to create a generative set using different shapes was definitely a challenge on the artistic side. And Veggiemates is a part of our company, which is Virtually Made, and Virtually Made is an entertainment company. So the way that we're looking at Veggiemates, it's our origin. So it's kind of like our Mickey Mouse if we look at ourselves as like a Disney.
Yeah.
And now we're branching off the new IPs because not everybody's going to resonate with that particular. Not everybody likes Mickey Mouse, right? But you might like Toy Story, you might like Finding Nemo, you might like another IP. And so right now, what our focus is continuing to expand those IPs. But in the Veggiemates world, we have comics right now that kind of do some world building. But that's been a big focus of it, is like character and world building.
Awesome. Have you guys done, or is there any talk, maybe animation down the line?
We actually have done some little animations. We have a TikTok that we released maybe 2 weeks ago.
Hmm.
We're just getting started, but I think we're at like, I know we're over 10K views on there already, but it's like a cute little couple. It's called Popo and Carrot. If you guys are on TikTok, look it up, Popo_Carrot. And it's just like cute little 10-12 second clips, couples humor. And the reason that we like our whole thing, and we all talk about this, is how do we get into the Web 2 audience? How do we get outside of Web 3? How do we onboard people? And the way you do it, I think Pudgy Penguins is a great example, where there's so many people out there who are engaged with their brand. They have no clue it's an NFT. And that's how you get exposure. And yeah, for us, it's about entertainment. Can we entertain people first? That's why we're doing our TikTok, is how do we expand beyond this space? And then when it comes down to the NFT, that's where like the utility, the collectible aspect of it kicks in. But it shouldn't just be about the NFT first. I actually think it's exposure first, and NFT is like kind of at the bottom of the funnel.
For sure, because you could, I mean, to do Web 2, you could do everything from like, plushies, clothing, or like all that fun stuff that definitely people start seeing this, and it's like, yeah, you get the lore, and then you're like, oh, it's an actual NFT project. You're right, though. It's like, that's a big problem a lot of projects have, is bringing that Web 2 into Web 3, or just bring the Web 2 to your brand.
So, and then the flip side, so then it's like, well, then why do I need NFTs in the first place? And
right,
when you were talking earlier about the film, it's actually a really good fundraising mechanism, right?
Yep.
So when we look at the entertainment industry, you got these massive companies out there, and they decide to buy a script or to fund a game or animation, and it's them funding it. So like if it's successful, then they get all the rewards of it. But in our model, it's more of like a crowdsource funding. So we're seeking funding, but we're not going to a studio to seek that funding. We're going to our NFT holders. And now those NFT holders, they have that collector's item, that proof to say, hey, I was one of the people that owned the first 10,000 Mickey Mouses. And the more Disney grows as a company, the more that collectible or that asset becomes worth, right? So that's kind of how we're thinking of it, is NFTs for us as a business is a funding mechanism versus seeking out external funding. And then we have a way to track back, like imagine Veggiemates becomes this big Netflix series, right?
Right.
Well, I know who supported us. I know who helped us get to the point where we were.
Yeah.
Why not give those people a cut of the royalties, right? Because that's what
Exactly.
this is all about. It's about giving people opportunities, whether they have, $10 or $10 million. You want to give people equal opportunities, to support what they believe in, and then also, to hopefully reap the rewards of that as well.
100%.
That was like the case study for the NFT and like how it what could happen and how to explain it. Like I love it. The fundamentals, if you will. No, that
Yeah,
was
I got
solid.
a little bit of practice. Yeah.
Yeah, this guy gets it. Yeah, this guy gets it. I love it. Uh Farmers market? No.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I was going to bring it up because you guys have brought in a lot of, to be honest, the first farmers market. So we ended up actually being in the first farmers market and
Yeah, it
Mhm.
was awesome.
and we had our own booth, we'll say.
Our own stall. We were selling artisanal jams. It's just messing with you.
But it honestly opened a few. Like I
It
ended
was
up
cool.
meeting the crypto boutique guys. I ended up helping them out with Discord and was working for them a little bit. But yeah, it opened up a lot of doors and introduced us to a lot of Cardano projects because we were still, I'd say we'd still fresh at that point.
Mhm.
When you say Devon,
100%, but it was cool. I remember I didn't fully understand how it was working at first, but like the whole groups, and it was really cool. We met a couple of cool people, and I was just like, why don't people do this more? We did a couple of them. Well, at least we did two. Yeah, we did two of them.
did we do two?
The second one, yeah, but we weren't as like active in the second one, but we
Right.
did the first one, and we were like, holy shit! And then the
So-
second one we did it too. But
So for anyone that doesn't know, the farmer market was basically a day on Discord where you guys had was it just projects or just I guess it was projects, collaborators, and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, just anybody. It's very similar to a real life farmers market,
yeah.
just brought into the digital world. Have you been to the most recent one?
No, I
No.
missed the last. How many have you done now?
We've done four, but our last one was our best. So you guys definitely
I
missed out.
definitely missed the. Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna tell you
definitely
why
missed
it's the best. So we partnered with a project called Future Fest.
it. That's right. I did miss that one.
They're a metaverse project. So, and I think there's a more visual example of this.
Yeah.
We had 25 different projects and they all had a virtual booth. So every single one of them, just like a normal farmers market, was able to like promote their products. And then there was proximity chat. So I could literally walk through this world, walk up to a booth, talk to the founders,
Mhm.
and then as I'm like walking by the booth, like something catches my eye or my ear catches a conversation, I could go walk in and like join the conversation.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
It was amazing. Yeah.
That's really cool.
and you had music going, and you had a stage going, and everything. You know what? I do remember it, and I missed it.
That's
Yeah,
like the
live
proximity.
interviews and music. Yeah.
So when you say proximity, that's like, what was the thing on the turtle's back where you walk up and you can hear it? Like, is that what you're
Cardano
talking
Summit.
about? Yeah.
2022 Cardano
Yeah,
or
2022.
2021 maybe.
Yeah.
So that's the same sort of vibe when you can kind of hear stuff and like
The closer you get, the
that
louder
was
it got.
cool. Yeah,
Farther
yeah.
away, it
That's
got
awesome.
quieter.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I believe that Cardano Summit's using their technology now. So that was kind of like a testing ground for it. So
Okay.
it
That
was
makes sense.
it was honestly it was one of the coolest events. It the same thing you said. It's like, why isn't there more of this going on?
Mhm.
We have another one planned for October, like a Halloween event.
Nice.
So there will be one. So you guys better show up to that one.
Oh yeah, we'll be there.
Virtual stall. Yeah, I like this
Yeah.
idea. Let's do it. Add to the calendar.
We could literally do like you have a booth, and
we
it's just
so we could just have a
interview-
podcast going.
Yeah, we just have a podcast.
Totally.
Walk up
Okay.
and
I'm down.
down and
It's a great
interview.
idea.
100%. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
yeah, I would just how long? Usually, how long they last? Like 3
Yeah.
hours.
I think this last one was 2 hours.
Oh, that's even better.
so
For
That's
us,
fine.
yeah.
We've done podcasts longer than that.
Okay, yeah.
That would
Yeah,
be perfect. Yeah, we just hit record and get going.
And then just shoot the shit. Yeah, and then see whoever comes in. Oh, honestly, that sounds great. Sign us
Can
up.
you? I guess if it's proximity, so it's not like Discord or certain things where you have a stage and you can accept people to come up and talk. Like, is there a way to like if there's 5 people in our booth, can all 5 talk, or can we stop people from talking? I wonder. If
yeah. Just tell them to shut up.
That works.
It's like, yeah, you can just
You can mute people, but like you can't like mute them for everybody. You can mute them.
Yeah.
yeah.
So it could get a little out of hand, but hey, we'll figure it out. We'll work on it.
Yeah. We got admins in there if anyone needs to get kicked out of the club.
Perfect. You know what? That's awesome because I'm glad we were able to do the first one where the way it was set up was you had your Discord open and every project or whoever was involved, the booths were all set up as different channels channels in the server. So there was a lot of channels, but I mean, to see it go to something now where it's online and in a metaverse that's
so
dope.
cool.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Natural evolution. Here we go.
Yeah. No, I could tell that there's something special about it. So if you guys haven't been to a farmer's market or you know somebody who's trying to learn about NFTs or you want to introduce to the space, it's such a good way to onboard someone because it's entertaining. That's what we're going for. We want it to be a fun day.
And the Future Fest one is pretty good. I went to Cardano Woman's.
Yeah.
They had. That was a few months back. I went to that and that was pretty cool. So I could see what you guys would be doing for yours as well. But yeah, shout out to Future Fest. They're doing some pretty dope shit too.
Oh yeah. Love those guys.
Okay, so there's so much to talk.
I know we have a bunch of things to touch on. We'll just touch on things bit by bit because
I did want to bring this up. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I think I know what you're gonna say. Yeah,
no, not at all. You have no clue what I'm going to say.
It's not related to that.
I'm throwing. This is from left field.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Did you guys see what Tory Lane's got today?
What the fuck? Not what I expected.
Nah.
So remember he shot what was her name?
Meg the Stallion.
Meg the Stallion in the foot. He got 10 years behind bars.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Yeah, you got 10 years. I saw that on Twitter as we were like starting up, and I was like, I'm gonna just throw this out there to them. Yeah, 10 years.
Damn.
Don't be shooting people in the feet. I mean,
well, here's what I mean, like we kind of were all surprised because we kind of just assumed he's a celeb. There was so much speculation around whether it happened or whether it didn't. So we kind of just expected it to be thrown out or be acquitted or whatever. Okay. Damn.
Wow.
Well, that's that.
There you go.
That's his career. He's gonna do one of those things like Shine did, where he's recording a track and you'll hear him from like the pen.
Right? Yeah. You could spin that.
Canadian though, so this guy's gonna be in Kingston.
No, I guess wouldn't he go to jail? Wasn't he sentenced there? So wouldn't he go to jail in California or wherever?
Was that where it went down?
Yeah, it wasn't up here. It was in LA, I think.
Damn.
Man, he's a tiny guy too. He's gonna be.
Nah, I'll be fine.
Someone's ragdoll at jail.
Okay, stop that. No comment on that at all.
I'm too handsome for jail or too pretty for jail, so I understand.
I actually have to 100% agree with you. Yeah. Well, okay, Ryan. That was pretty low. There's no way I was guessing that at all.
There's no way. I knew it too.
The non-fungible guys.
Yep. You got to throw that out there every now and then. Okay, so after Veggiemates, you released. When did Junkies come out?
Junkies was I don't know the exact date, but it was right around February 2022. So
okay. I remember those we did mint, Devon. We did get into the mint for the Junkies, and then shortly after, I think you guys introduced Greens at that point, or when was the Greens token introduced?
That was September 6th. Actually, no, sorry, that was in the staking. So Greens was introduced like August time frame, and then we have staking live as of September 6th. And that would be NFT and token staking as well.
Right. So so what happens is you stake your NFT and you get rewarded in greens.
Correct. Or you stake your greens and you get greens.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm staking right now. I should have been staking long ago, but I just forgot about it. But okay, so I guess talk a little bit about the greens token if you want, or staking or anything. Yeah. All right.
So a couple of things. Like first, greens ties into our story of Veggies and Junkies. So the greens are like this natural energy substance that grows, and the veggies consume the greens in very natural ways, right? Like they drink it, maybe they smoke it, like they eat it. But the junkies, they take the greens and they distill it down in a lab and it's
Mm-hmm.
100x potency. So they got the potent version of the stuff. So they're injecting it, they're taking pill form like junkies would. And this is the reason why the junkies are so much stronger than the veggies, because they're taking this super powered version of greens, and the vigilantes, I told you, the group of heroes, they're starting to take greens the junkies way, and that's why they got these superpowers. So
Gotcha.
it's like, if you look at any story, if you look at the Marvel stories, they have like the Tesseract,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's all stories are about money and power, right? Like a lot of them center around that as a focal point, and this is our money and power, right,
And
of our story.
idealism. I'm gonna make the perfect world.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And so that's the story part of it. And then on the token side, it's the token that powers our ecosystem. So like pretty recently in the last couple of months, we released something called the franchise pass. We're able to
Yeah.
upgrade your NFTs, and that was our first utility for the token. So you actually got to use the token in order to upgrade your NFTs. And so we're we're it's kind of like, I hate saying it like this, but like it's you go into Chuck E. Cheese's, or you go into arcade and you buy the tokens so that you can
Yeah.
play the games, right?
That's
So like
great.
that's the intention of it, is to create this ecosystem where we have to build utility for it, right? In order for it to have a purpose. And so
Right.
that was the first thing that we've done in order to give it utility, but it is going to be something that's going to continue to develop in our ecosystem as we move forward and expand to other brands, because the name's pretty dope. Greens is a good token name.
You can't go wrong. I love it. Actually, I really enjoyed that. What would you call it? The upgrade process with the franchise pass. Like, so I chose to go with the vigilantes or vigilantes, and you had to basically, what was it? You burned, would you say?
Hmm.
Junkies in order to, the veggie would eat the junkie and upgrade. But the whole process of like stage one was choosing a back or a name.
Yep.
So you got to name your NFT, and then upgrade two was changing whatever background that you guys had. What was it, like 18 backgrounds or something? If I'm right.
Phase two was the music, and the phase three was the background.
Oh, I flipped
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
You're close though.
Yeah. But I enjoyed it because I was going through, and so I ended up naming my potato guy Tony Starch.
Nice.
I
Nice.
remember
So
that guy.
yeah, but the whole process was fun. And I remember I didn't have enough greens, but you guys had it built right in where I swap it right then and there, or did it take me? I try to remember, did it take me to a Dex?
It took you to a Dex. Yeah, we didn't want to build out like the Dex technology because it already existed.
Right.
Or you can just pay an ADA, but it's more affordable to do it in greens.
Yeah, it was. I think it wasn't very much. Like, what was it, 6 ADA or something? It was 10
Yeah.
ADA or something for the greens, but that whole process was I loved it because I was like, I sat for a little while thinking about my name. I was
Yeah.
Googling things. I was like, what could I name this potato NFT? But it was fun. So after that was so that was the franchise pass, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Where was I? I lost my train of thought here where I was going. Um,
I could pick up
I'm trying to look
yeah.
for our previous banner, Ryan, because we just changed our banner, but our banner for Twitter and
Like
sorry,
our background.
Yeah, our background had like Tony Starch as our,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was the
so I'm looking
background
for
of
that in the
our.
background because we would list some
Sick.
of our favorite. Damn it, yeah, I'll drop it in
Actually,
there.
yeah, that is right. I had
Yeah.
the Vegemate was my on our
Yeah, yeah,
banner for a long
And
time.
he's got his eye crossed out or whatever. You guys do your thing. I'll find it in the background. I'll drop
Yeah,
it.
no, Tony Starch. That's a good name. Yeah. So one of the other things we did for any of like the more technical people, or the people who get more into like the nerdy side of blockchain, is we took the NFTs, and as a part of that conversion process, you actually move into SIP 68. And what SIP
Yes.
68 does is it lets you augment metadata on the fly. And we were pretty early to that, so this is kind of an onboarding process to SIP 68, and it lays the foundation for customizable NFTs. And as a company, our whole plan is we're doing IP expansion in terms of like story and world building and finding different IP that resonates with different people, like dogs versus vegetables, two different audiences.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
as a company, we're building technology. We have a staking platform. We have a franchise pass. We're building a customization portal, and that the technology we build can actually expand across brands, right? So we're going to be in a scenario where we launch another IP, and we're not starting from zero. We already have a suite of products that we could apply to it, right?
Right. That makes sense.
So that's huge, because whatever utility you built in the past is just like baseline for everything going forward.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Like from the jump, we'll get there. Fucking Goofs.
Yeah,
Like you can
IP
expect all that has that capability. I mean, you're just starting with an expanded. You're building up like the Marvel MCU.
Yeah, exactly. And we're scaling one to many, not one to one, right? So
yeah.
let's look at fast forward to the future. We got 10 brands. We have this whole suite of utility we can apply across all those brands.
Very cool.
Does Goofs enter the Vegemate and Junkie world?
Yeah, they just eat everything.
Any plans, or do you like projects going cross-chain?
Oh, of course. Yeah. I think cross-chain's probably the next crypto meta. I was kind of thinking about this recently, but every time crypto's pumped, there's been a thing, right? So early on, it was just tokens, when tokens started taking off in ICOs and all that, and people had no clue what they did. And then the next generation was like smart contracts and smart chains, but again, nobody knew what they did. And then they finally came up with DEXs, and now there was a purpose to them, and then NFTs, and like people were able to actually use them. And then I do think that next iteration, next big thing is going to be cross-chain and interoperability. And for us, that's a big part of Goofs, actually. So we wanted to get something that was very relatable to people. And we think the art is something that a lot of people are going to resonate with. It's a little bit more humanoid than the veggies were.
Yeah.
But a big part of our project is going to be the cross-chain component. So we plan on launching on Polygon, on Ethereum, on Solana, potentially to ordinals as well.
Whoa.
And we believe that the era of just thinking like, oh, I don't mess with those chains, or I'm Cardano ride or die, like that needs to go away. That's not what's healthy, because at the end of the day, we're all in it for blockchain. And so you're gonna have your maxis out there, but overall, for us to hit the adoption numbers that we really need, we need to start expanding on Cardano.
100%. I think that's why a lot of projects are kind of, not to take shots at anybody, but I think that's why they're going to Poly, because Poly's like Ethereum in that pool there, but like kind of where the money is. Cardano,
because of the accessibility right now.
Exactly, and everyone gets, we're the ghost chain over on Cardano, right? But it's all about the. I look at it recently. I've been thinking about it too, where everyone's like, for us in the Cardano system, it's like Ethereum, and it's like it's the old BlackBerry versus whatever it was, whatever BlackBerry was going to get, because BlackBerry had all the security at that point.
At that point.
And at that point, it was just iPhone, right? It was BlackBerry iPhone, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So it's cross-chain. I think I love it. I love the fact that even, was it Clay's is doing a cross-chain thing with Sandbox, right?
Yeah.
So, and then someone else, Pavia, is doing Decentraland. Yeah, so
I think so. Yeah,
it's gonna happen. Like you said, it's the next iteration of what's gonna be cool. But I think
Beastives.
Go ahead.
I almost said that. Beastives. Tell us more about the Goofs. Like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, are these mecha? Are they not? Like, what's happening here?
That artwork
threw me off. I was like, what's going on? First of all, the what you post, the pin tweet is cool. Like, that's
I love it.
Awesome. Music video. The music is like catchy and shit. Totally different style. What's happening?
Yeah. We're building an entertainment company, right? So we want to be entertaining.
Mm.
Actually, my our two artists are living with me. They're in the other room right
I
now.
was gonna
Uh,
get to yeah. You just wait.
yeah.
We're
I
gonna
have
get
it in my
there.
show notes.
Yeah. No, we've been working on this character for several months now. So this didn't just start last week. It's actually been brewing for a very long time. The big reason, and this kind of ties a little bit into the cross chain conversation. Veggies and Junkies is I believe it's going to be a universal concept. Like I really like I was in New York, I was like I could see Veggies and Junkies being on one of these billboards and people will understand it versus like some of these animal profile pictures.
Yeah.
However, when we look at the current demographic of the market, people like humanoid animals, right? And so it's always been a struggle of ours as Veggies versus Junkies to resonate with our current audience. So we definitely needed some expansion into a different segment of like a different audience. So that was part of it. But then the other part of it is we really wanted to push our art to the boundaries. So we hired an additional artist, Stag Wolf from Bizarre Stars, and
Mm.
Okay.
we moved them both into my house. So we're all literally living together, and the mech goof that we published, it is a one of one, so it's not a mech set or anything like that. It's actually
Okay.
going to be
Cool.
a dog based set, and we are going to be leveraging some of the technology we're building for Veggiemates. So customization is going to be a big part of it. That's one of the up and coming NFT metas. We've been talking about it for a while now. It's why we moved to SIP 68 as well. But the ability to like change your outfits, right? To change the way you look in a way. Still keep some rarity in there, of course, because that's what makes a lot of this fun.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
you're going to be able to customize the NFT, and I can't give away too much, but like we are doing things that I can say for sure I've never seen before
Okay.
that I do think are going to take us to the next level. But
Oh,
it is a high art set. Like the if you when we do release like some of our more common
Comment. Yeah.
ones, you're going to see like the level of detail on the fur, the shading, just
Okay.
there's
Cool.
a lot of scrutiny being put onto it. From an artistic standpoint, we're giving ourselves a lot of runway for the art, so we're not rushing this
Mm.
because a good friend of mine, he goes by Apex, but they released
I
House of Titans, right?
love Apex.
Yeah, great dude.
Yep.
But just the level of art, you zoom in, you click on it,
Yep.
and you're just like, oh wow. And I think that in Cardano, we don't get a lot of respect from other chains, maybe because they don't see us as like a serious chain. And for us, like we are starting in Cardano, even though we want to be multi-chain. It's a way to make a stamp and say, no, we got some talent over here. And so we're putting a huge focus on art quality.
Mm. Love it. Okay. That's really freaking cool. Like looking at Goose, it's kind of interesting because I love how you're like, we've got a studio or we're a company because it's different. And I think that's actually a really big indication of how you're thinking about things, to be like, this guy's thinking differently about this. Let's take a step back for a second because you touched on something that we both had in the show notes, and I like separated. I was like, what the fuck is going on here with this? Okay, so I'll ask you this. How big is the team? Tell us about the team and tell us about how you work getting to the fact that you just casually move people into your house. You can't just glaze over that like it's not a big deal.
It's like a TikTok house now.
Yeah. So seriously, tell us about that. Go into it if you want, because I feel like this is your opportunity to kind of like, tell us about the philosophy of you, and like get into that.
Yeah, I mean, so I mean, if we look at our team members, just a few of us, but like I have a really good day job. I'm in leadership and tech. Like I make a,
Nice.
a, a pretty good salary. We have a game developer on our team. He's doing very well. One of our partners is in a similar career as me. Paul's a platinum selling artist. Like
Yeah.
where
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah.
I I I literally can't. build a company and make 100 grand or a couple 100 grand or even $1 million. There's literally no point because I could just continue to work my job.
Hmm.
And I'm not in this to make some short-term money because it's not worth my time. I like we're in it for one reason, one reason only to build like an empire. Like it's boom or bust for us. I don't
Yeah.
see any middle ground whatsoever. I love this space. I love what I do here. I work my butt off because I do have a day job and I do this, and it's how
Yeah.
I sustain myself. Right now, it's how I've been able to make some sacrifices as well, like in terms of what we taken on financially. But we're in this for the big picture. Like you guys can't see it because it's blurry, but my goal is to build $100 million company, and
Hmm.
I'm not here to build a $1 million company. It's literally there's no
I,
reason for that for
I
me.
love that drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so if I'm thinking this way, I can't be thinking small. I can't be thinking NFT project, right? That's not big enough. So we really got to be thinking like, okay, what are we doing? And how is this going to turn into that big thing? So like sometimes I'll say stuff and it's like, okay, like that's never going to happen. It's like, yeah, it's not going to happen tomorrow, but we're building the Lego blocks to get
Yeah.
to the Empire State Building one day,
Heck yeah.
right?
Heck yeah.
But I
Yeah.
but I see the Empire State Building in my mind right now, even though everybody else is seeing Lego blocks, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and
I,
and so
I
our
yeah.
oh, sorry,
Sorry.
go
Keep
ahead.
going. Well, I gotta cut you off, so I might as well. I kind of see that you see the Empire State Building. I see, I don't know which mountain, but I see a mountain, the peak, right? And I can see it. It's a fucking mountain. It doesn't really matter if it's like, if it's nighttime and the moon's shining, you can see it. If it's daytime and
Mhm.
it's super hazy, it's above the clouds. You can still see it. You know what I mean? If you're, because you're far out.
Yep.
And like, you got to get there and it's going to take a while. You got to walk through like a field, a desert, a swamp, a city, even to get there. But you can always look up and see it. And I think like you're building, you're one step ahead, 1 foot ahead of the other, 1 foot ahead of the other, but your vision is like sound. And I think that's kind of like that's how I can tell, like, yeah, this guy's gonna that's leadership right there. You know, you have the vision to where the company's going long term. And sometimes people don't really, they just see what's in front of them and you're like, it matters because of that. So that's kind of how I envision
And like so as I am in leadership and I opened up with like that
it. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
person I am, right? Who am I?
Yeah.
That it is my passion. It's what I love, and I love inspiring other people. And before we started our Goose project, I asked everybody on the team what their why was. And
Nice.
if I didn't feel strong about it, I challenged them on it because like I didn't want to be on a team where people are doing this half-ass. Like
Yeah.
just not that's not that we're not going to get to where we want to be by just kind of putting in your effort. And it's something that changes in your life. And sometimes motivation's temporary, and you got to constantly remind yourself, why am I doing this? And the deeper you search for that meaning, the more likely you are to take that other step, right? Because you're gonna get hit by a pack of wolves, you're gonna get hit by a storm,
Yeah.
there's gonna be a hill you didn't see coming, you're gonna run out of water, there's going to be tough times, and it's gonna be very easy to give up, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and and you that's where you have that resolve and you say, you know what? No, I'm doing this for something bigger. And I will say everybody on my team convinced me that they had a good why. And I'll be honest, if they didn't, they probably wouldn't be on the team anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just
Surround yourself, right?
that
Guess.
doesn't mean they're bad people. They're just not on the same page as me. And I could say I am with the right people. And honestly, because of how strong our team is, that's why I have this level of conviction.
Perfect. Love it. So you let's tell us about moving everyone into the house. What is that about?
Yeah, so I actually there's a book called it's called From Zero to One,
Yep.
Peter Thiel.
Yeah, totally.
He's
Know it.
co-founder of Palantir and
Palantir.
PayPal. Yeah, so he's boys with Elon Musk and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But I read this book, and one of the things they do talk about is having like an in-office environment, especially when you're a small startup. And it's just irreplaceable synergy. And so that's part of it. One of my team members, Gubjub, came up with the idea actually to have Stag fly down here and for us all to live together. Luckily, I have space in my house.
Yeah.
I'm a single man in a house. So we decided to do it, pulled the trigger on it, and I will say they've been here for a little over a month. It's one of the coolest months of my life. Like I'm in my late 30s now. I'm 30. I'm almost 37. And I feel like I'm in college, but I have a lot more.
Wild.
I
That's
have a lot
awesome.
more like resources and
Yeah.
skills. I'm not as stupid as I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
back in
yeah.
Yeah,
college.
yeah, yeah,
Got a little
yeah,
more
Um,
knowledge now.
yeah.
I got a lot more
You go
knowledge
to
and
bed
like
a
just
little bit
this.
earlier. You
I don't
drink a
know
little bit
about
more
that part.
water. Okay, never mind.
I drink more water,
I was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
but
there
say
you
he splits up the waters now.
yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah. But like I just the level of production, we feed off of each other.
Yeah,
They see me working, I see them working. We're able
yeah.
to just like yell at each other. Like they're literally and yell they could hear me talking about them right now. I guarantee you. But no, it's been the coolest thing. And yeah, in the book 0 to 1, they do talk about how important it is to have that synergy, to be in the same location that's just irreplaceable.
Yeah.
And when you get to scale or whatever, you sure you could be remote, but there's nothing that can replace that like in-person synergy.
Yeah, no, that's actually wild. I love that. I'm a big believer in that. That's awesome. Dude, okay, cool. Came for the NFT and crypto knowledge, and you get a little bit about how to build a company and get the synergies going. That's pretty amazing. I love when we start talking about a certain topic or whatever, and then we end up in bettering yourself, self-help. I don't know. We probably, if we kept this going, we'll probably end up talking about stoicism, and then we'll probably get to movies in a sec. This is awesome. I love it. So good. So good.
Favorite food?
Nice.
What's your favorite
Nice.
meal?
Nice.
I love fried chicken. Like
That's
I
awesome. Wait,
yeah.
I'm not surprised. Given the conversation we had before we started, I've been to the main. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
okay, yeah, yeah.
wild.
So
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
I mean I could make some good fried chicken, but like
yeah,
Korean fried chicken is really good.
yeah.
So because we use cornstarch, so it makes it extra crispy. So I'm
Yes.
definitely like I would say I'm a fried chicken connoisseur. Um,
Nice.
yeah, I feel pretty confident about it. Like, and besides that, I like chicken parmesan, which is also fried chicken with tomato sauce. So
Right.
Can't go
I
wrong there.
Yeah.
yeah.
Good choices. Good
Um,
choices.
are you guys going to be down? So we had met you, I guess, for the first time technically at CNFT Con last year. And the energy you had was fucking great. Like we walked
Yeah,
away,
that
we're
was
like,
awesome.
that was so awesome. Like the
Celebrity
whole
status.
booth. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
The
You
outfit
made
is
us feel
sick.
great. I was like, oh shit, this
Yeah,
guy's
it
like
was
so
good.
happy and like
That was
hyped
awesome.
up. Are you guys gonna be there this year?
Well, we haven't got a booth yet. So it honestly was like a lot of planning and
Yeah.
coordination. I'm definitely gonna be there in appearance. So
Nice.
I'll be there if you guys are there. I'll see you there. If anybody's listening is gonna be there, your boy Beastives will be there. But yeah, we haven't decided or locked down a booth just yet.
I feel like a lot of projects, because I know they've pivoted from CNFT Con to now NFT LV. So
Mhm.
it's more
Hmm.
of a Web3 NFT conference. But I feel like a lot of Cardano projects haven't really jumped on board. Like I think Old Money is doing a meetup in Georgia the same
Savannah,
weekend,
Mm.
same
Savannah,
weekend, or just
Georgia.
like it's like a day before or
Yeah, and
after
like
or whatever it is. Yeah,
who else did we talk? Who was it? Ugly Bros, I don't think is having a booth like they did last year. Like a few
yeah.
projects we've talked to seem to be not what's the proper word? Hesitant to like
Yeah.
jump on board,
I think
which is kind
everyone's
of
just we got to forget. I mean, we can't forget. Like the bear markets changed people's like jump right in, or
right.
you know what I mean. We're just. I think we're all just like taking it a little bit slower. I think people will just kind of take a little bit longer before we throw it all in, and maybe some of us don't have the resources we once did. Right?
Yeah.
True.
There's
I,
that.
I mean, I'll go off on a rant on that point,
Please
honestly.
do.
Yeah,
Feel
no,
free.
like I'm allowed to swear here, right?
Yeah.
Fuck
It,
yeah.
yeah, it's fucking crazy that people expect these businesses to run and just like not earn more money. Like
Yeah.
our number one revenue model is NFTs. And like I already know I'm gonna get FUD, like, oh, you guys are starting another project. And when you start thinking about that in logical terms, it's like Yeah, so what I'm just supposed to make a finite amount of resources, build a business that grows forever and never raise money again? Like
Yeah.
that's the craziest concept ever. So you are right. That's an expectation in this space for some crazy reason. And people are running out of funds. And then if they come up with another way to raise money, they get shamed for it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And to me it's like I think about Beanie Babies or any company that produces a product. Like if you produce 10,000 of a product, you sell it out and you're like, that's it. We're done as a
Yeah.
business. No more. I guess we made our money. I'm just going to take all that money I made and just make those things I already sold you as valuable as possible and somehow last forever. It's like this insane concept. And on
Mm,
top of that, there's only 10,000 of these things out there. You're never going to get the brand exposure that you need.
Right.
And it Manifest Labs on Polygon is actually doing a really good job. So shout out to Mr. Mint on there. But he's kind of changing the way people are looking at things. And I mean, in reality, if we want to get to market saturation, you should have a million NFTs. Like
yeah,
the you if you really want to get to a large audience, a million's not even 1% of the US population. So
Yeah.
that's not even a crazy number, right?
yeah.
So in order for us to keep building our brand, to have the type of expansion that we want, to be able to attend things like NFT LV, like we need funding to do that kind of stuff. It's
Yeah.
not free, right? I still have to work a day job
Yeah.
because I literally can't support myself from this.
Yeah.
But I'm so passionate about it and I'm willing to put the extra work in, but this isn't sustainable for the rest of my life. And I would love to be doing this forever. So what does that mean? It's like I got to pull an income. I got bills to pay, right? And so that's my rant there, right? It's
No,
like
it needs to be said.
Yeah.
it yeah, like if anybody wants to fund me on launching another project and making more money, come at me because like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not scared to make money for my company. That's the silliest thing I've ever heard.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people do it, but go ahead, Devon.
Also, it does tie into the people that are maximalists on any chain or whatever. It's like this is not a Mickey Mouse Club. I know we keep on going back to Mickey Mouse. You know, this is
Yeah.
not like the afternoon TV special here. We're all best for like this is supposed to be, if you were remembering when we were all hopped up on Bitcoin and Ethereum, like platform destabilization, decentralization on a global scale. Like when you and then when Ryan and I we did an episode last week that ended up kind of being a deep dive into Bitcoin fundamentals and the blockchain as well. And we were like, holy shit, yeah. We forgot that this is designed to be an active replacement for world currency,
Hmm.
legitimately, as it stood when founded, when created, the first block minted, however you want to talk about it, or the first block validated. And it's just like all of that stuff is still true. So stop thinking with old world mentality, Web2
Yep.
mentality, scarcity, or even regular institutionalized market mentality. Like this is completely different. I think that people forget that. On some level, like we do get a decent pulse because we talk to people, and we see
Yeah.
what they're saying publicly, we see what they're saying privately. But and then from the other side of things, but like if people really remember that and what's happening here and what you are buying into, then you'll support projects you care about, or at least like know about the technology and kind of like be evangelical about it. I can think of one way to fucking do that: have a podcast and never fucking stop. So what's
Hell
up?
yeah.
Let's get this
And
done.
respect to
You know
you
what I
guys,
mean?
man.
Let's keep it
Episode
going.
100 something. Let's go.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah,
yeah.
you
What this
are 103.
103?
let's go.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. It's just
So yeah,
I love doing this. I mean, I might not be the most technical or whatever, but it's fun just talking to people like yourself and exposing more people to the thoughts of a project founder. Like just everything about this. I just love it. I don't know.
yeah, dope.
Eh,
Um, Yo, Ryan, how are you looking? I feel like actually, Beastives, is there anything you want to ask us? Right now we've gone through a bunch of our stuff. We got to where we just got to a rant that we didn't expect to, which was awesome. Uh, we've asked you your favorite food. We kind of wrapping up the signature questions, man. I mean, if there's anything you want to say, a call to action for those that are listening, or if you want to ask us anything other than that, we can take this baby home.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm curious, why do you guys keep going?
Oh, Ryan, you want to go first? Because we keep going because every 2, 3 weeks one of us is like, hey, you wanna just throw in the towel? And then one of us is always like, and now let's just do one more. And we've just been saying that. I'd say we've been saying that for at least, we've probably said that at least 70 times. No, maybe that's too high. That's too high.
That's too high.
That's way too high.
There
But
are a
like,
few weeks where it's tough, but you know what? Like, I love it because for me, it's as much as we're helping people like learn about decentralization and the Web3 space. It's like I'm learning too, and I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I'll give another answer too. And this comes from something that happened last week. So one thing is our goals, we actually haven't changed them. And some people might be like, these guys are idiots. They could go so much further, do so many different things. We wanted to make 8 episodes. We wanted to keep informed and aware of the technology and meet cool people. And that's never stopped. And that's always a thing, you know? This is how we fucking stay in it. And then number 2, and this is gonna sound lame, but like this shit is real. The listeners, like actually, like Ryan kicked me. What day was it? Sunday or Monday? And you know what I'm talking about when I called you and I was like, this made my fucking day.
It was yesterday.
It was Sunday. It was Monday.
No, it was yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got in one of the discords, like producer Paps was talking to someone, and someone just wrote a comment about the episode, just being like, when you guys did a comparison to something, it was spot on. And I read that message and I literally was like, yes, like jumping up and down, called Ryan. I was like, this person's Ryan, like actually we'll shout that. I should bring it up to shout them out.
I can bring it up real quick.
Yeah.
But we were talking, have you ever heard of digital knowledge?
It was
graphs?
Mr. ARRR. Just their comment. Sorry. Yeah, as a pirate. Yeah, my bad. That's so embarrassing. He's gonna be like,
you butchered my name. Don't worry.
Yeah, how does this guy not know that? He's never heard of pirates. That comment made my freaking day, and I literally was like, I love this podcast. Like, I literally do it because I know that there are people out there that listen to the stupid jokes that Ryan and I say and the dumb things we do, and we're not always right, but we are helping people, and we've seen it. Ryan's onboarding people like crazy. Like, that's honestly why I do it. It's cool. That's why.
That's a good reason, man.
Yeah.
It sounds like you guys love what you do. I think that's the most important thing, right? Yeah.
Just interviewing and meeting new people too. Like, it's just crazy the doors that this has opened up, and like the different people. Like, 1 minute we're talking to Ben Mesrick, then we're talking to you, and then just even random people we've said, you know what, let's have them on a guest, and we're blown away by what we come out of the episode with. It's like, it's just crazy. I love it. It's just like, it's unpredictable, but it's also predictable in certain but I love it.
Like, it's not even like we're doing this and we just have like shit episodes where we're like, oh, this sucks. Like, it's like a good time 98% of the time.
Yeah.
Quite seriously. Like, we're not, no bullshit.
Now I want to know, you did 103 episodes, so 2% of the time. My math says that's
offline.
I can say the one. Yeah, I know the one project you can think about. He ended up. I'll say it. I'm not gonna say who it is.
Okay,
but he was in Cardano, didn't sell out, and then just like vanished off Twitter for a couple months, and then all of a sudden he was respawned on a whole another chain.
Yeah,
like one of them kind of guy. You know, he was nice to talk to. We had a good time conversing, but
it was all right, but sucked.
You know what? All right, you said if there's anything I want to say, to that point, I understand why projects rug. I really do. Like, this is hard. This is really fucking hard. I've literally I've lost relationships over this. I've lost sleep. I've detrimented my health, right? I've definitely learned to have more of a work-life balance. You got haters out there. I've been through so many difficult times where I'm just like, how do I get out of this? Like, I don't know what to do anymore. You feel like you're just going uphill all the time, and like, just, it never stops. And so I do understand why people rug. And, you know, I've always been a fan of doxing. You have so little to lose when you're undoxed. It's so easy to throw in the towel. So like, that's part of it for me, but also like, experience matters, and it doesn't mean that there's not Mark Zuckerbergs of the world who are these young phenoms who out of college or drop out of college and find the next, Microsoft or Facebook or whatever. Like, of course that exists, but predominantly in the business world, you care about experience, you care about credentials, you care about the team that you're investing in. And I think it's something that gets very overlooked in this space. And when you start looking at the patterns of the
Yeah.
people who have rugged,
Yeah.
a lot of them are undocs, and a lot of them are very inexperienced business people. And that's not us. Like I said, I'm in my late 30s. Paul, my team members are in a similar age demographic. We all got grown ass man jobs. Like,
Yeah.
we're not.
Yeah.
This isn't new to us. I'm
Exactly.
not. This isn't the most money I've ever made in my life. Like, this
Right.
isn't some like temporary small thing that we just dabbled in. Like, we're in this for the long haul.
Yeah.
And I really do hope that the space starts valuing that more, because like we are launching a second project, and you're not investing in a team that's just thrown in the towel at the
Right,
first
exactly.
bad thing that's happened, right? And there has to be value in that. And it's also like coming back to Apex and House of Titans. This dude's been busting his butt forever, and his Phoenix Arena project wasn't getting as much love as I think they deserved, and now, because he's had to go through all those tough times, he never stopped grinding. He's like starting to reap some of the rewards, right? So I'm really happy for the guy, and like to see that kind of stuff. But like on the flip side, stop supporting garbage, right? Like,
right.
If you're
nice.
out there and you're gonna support some
blockchain mages.
Who you've never heard of in your entire life, who just started a project out of nowhere with half-ass art. And then they rug, and you're like, I can't believe that happened. And then read an article about how awful of a person they are. It's like, honestly, good for that person for tricking you, right? Like, they may not like a bandit, but like, if you're gonna be like that and you're gonna get all butthurt about that kind of stuff, then start investing in teams that actually have something to lose. Because like, my LinkedIn, my face is everywhere. If I fuck this up, you guys know where to find me. I can't hide. So there is something to that, and we ain't going anywhere, man. Like, we're here for the long haul, like I said.
Mike, drop. Beastives, everybody. Thank you for coming on the podcast. That was epic to go through all of that and then wrap it up with the fucking rant, but also like the clutch, like information on how we should actually be operating in the space. Dude, it's been a pleasure.
Ryan? Heck yeah, man.
Thank you very much. We'll throw all your links and where to find you in the episode notes. Do you want to throw it, I guess, any of your handles?
Right now, check out goofs.world, GOOFS.world. Check out our music video, join our Discord, and if you have any questions, I'm there.
You definitely are. And the Twitter or X would be at Goofs_world.
Correct. Yep.
Perfect.
And then we got Veggiemates NFT. It's so weird calling it X, but yes, the
right.
X.
Ugh. Devon's been making jokes all like the last 4 episodes about like, is it X now? And I'm like,
hate it.
Yeah, I thought he was just trolling everyone, but I guess it's X now.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But thank you very much. I hope everyone enjoys their week, their month. Summer's coming to an end. Spend some time with your family and friends, and NFGs.
We out.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.